Boo bitches! Welcome to episode 187 of C3 Crystals, Cauldrons, and Cocktails. I'm River Kane, and I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I don't know if any of y'all are out there trying to do the Black Friday thing, but if so, blessed be. I do not venture out for that. With all the holiday stuff going on, I thought that I would post an old After Dark episode so that some of y'all can see what those are all about. And this one is on Krampus, which is apropos for what's going on right now. It was one Ren and I did a few years ago, and since it was only available to patrons, it will be new to most of you. So I hope you all enjoy. Boo bitches! Welcome to episode 23 of C3 Crystals, Cauldrons, and Cocktails After Dark.
After Dark. We'll find a sound.
We really have to do that. If any of you all know how to do that, let us know, and we will follow your directions and figure it out.
I've been looking at the sounds and stuff, and there's like free sounds you can download, but then we don't know if we can actually use those. Now there's one, like there's sounds on YouTube that you can download, and for YouTube's sake, that's free. But I'm not sure if we can use it for our podcast.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules are.
I don't either. Anyway, so yeah.
We're still working on it, guys. You know us. Okay.
We're always a work in progress.
We are always a work in progress. We're going to talk about Krampus because it's that time of year. We're actually past Krampus
time.
Yes, Krampus time, but it is the season of
now.
That.
I know we talked about this probably last year too, and the year before that, but it's the holidays and
Krampus. We probably did. But I know we did. We did one just on him though.
Like it was like a overall holiday
thing, which we're going to do another one of those too this month.
Yeah, we're being boring.
Another Yule.
We're always repetitive, but who remembers what happens a year ago? You know.
Well, and everybody needs a refresher, and we always learn new things every time we redo it.
And we have
anyway.
some new people, so there we go. Well,
okay. So what or who is Krampus? So Krampus is a Central European legend about a half-goat, half-demon monster that punishes misbehaving children at Christmas time. Like many demons, Krampus borrows several features from goats. He has long horns that curl back on his head, and his feet end in hooves instead of feet, and his body is covered in shaggy fur, which can either be white, black, or a reddish brown. He even has a long, pointed, goat-like tongue. But unlike a goat, Krampus has claws and fangs, and he walks on two legs, or hooves, as we should say, dressed in chains and bells that he shakes at people in the street. And he also carries a bunch of birch rods and horsehair whips and a large sack or basket on his back. And the birch rods or whips are used to beat naughty children with, but the sack is reserved for the truly wicked. And we're going to get into the variations of what all the different cultures say.
Yes.
But he is, supposedly Krampus uses his backpack or his sack to take the really young evildoers to the underworld with him. So he is the devilish companion of Saint Nicholas, who is actually different from Santa Claus. And Krampus is believed to have originated in Germany area, the Alpines. And his name, it derives from the German word Krampen, which means claw.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, claw, that's pretty cool. See, when you think of Krampus, I'm like, a lot of these stories are fables passed down. And it's just funny, like who thinks of these things? Like if he's not real, correct? And he's just a fable. Who thinks of these things?
Right. Like who decides to scare their children with these things? Where does that idea come from? Let's scare the kids and make them behave.
Yeah, like scare the kids into behaving versus, oh, you're going to get good things if, you behave.
If you're good. Yeah.
It's very different. I mean, I feel like past time has been a little bit different, like.
Oh, for sure. They were definitely harder
differently
times in the past. And so they weren't able to think in terms of, oh, we're going to give gifts. And, they didn't have that kind of thing. They really needed the kids to get out there and work and so they needed them to be good. Let's scare the crap out of them and make them be good.
I guess. But yeah, the history of Krampus can be traced back to the pre-Christian folklore in Alpine regions, like within Europe, particularly in Austria, Germany, Slovenia, however you say it, and parts of Italy. The figure of Krampus is believed to have pagan origins. I always mess. Anyways, rooted in the traditions that predate the Christianity. And so, as you said, Krampus itself means claw. Like the first Krampen means claw or hook. I saw hook, which was pretty interesting too.
That's scarier than claw to me.
Yeah, it's derived from the old High German word Krampen.
Okay.
Which I thought was cool.
Krampus was generally thought to be part of pagan rituals for the winter solstice, actually.
In the pre-Christian times. See, I like how my notes are all pre-Christian times. Yes, obviously.
Yes.
So in the winter solstice and Yule festivals involved rituals, costumes, and these masked figures. And so these festivals often included the portrayal of supernatural beings who symbolize the forces of nature. That would be fertility, cycles of life, things like that.
Which are things that people in that time, everything depended on all of that.
Yeah.
So their whole life revolved around that. We're lucky in today's world that we're not. I mean, there are still a lot of people that are out there just trying to survive, but there are a lot who are more fortunate than that who are not.
Yeah. No, because I feel like a lot of people want to get back to those roots, where you do get to have these festivals, you do get to have I don't know, enjoy these things that we don't nowadays enjoy because we have technology, we have the innovation, all of that, where we don't get to enjoy our roots versus some people who are currently living in their roots and want to be a part of the modernized technology civilization.
I think it's important for the modern technological people of the world to understand our roots and to try to reach back and understand. And I think that's part of why these things are so popular in today's culture. These pagan things are not just Krampus, but all kinds of pagan ideas are now coming back out because people are realizing that with our reliance, that's the word, on technology, we're losing that connection to our world.
We are. If something happened, we wouldn't have those roots. We wouldn't know what plants are what and what could be used as a antibiotic versus, something like that. So
witches would.
I forget.
Well, green witches would. Greg would. Greg would know.
Yeah, we would need Greg.
Yes. We would go find Greg and he would help us survive.
Hopefully. I don't think I would make it that far.
Yeah, me either. He's far away from here. But anyway.
Anyways, but yeah, with the with Christianity, kind of, what's the word? Spreading across Europe, many of the pagan traditions were incorporated into Christian traditions to try to help ease that, change and attract people to convert. Which I don't know. You see how it all turned out. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, according to one legend, Krampus is the son of Hel, Hel. She's I thought it was a she. Well, I play some video games and Hel is a she, but I don't know
if that was adapted or for the video game or not. Yeah.
Because it's a Norse god, but I don't know if it's a goddess or a god of the underworld. But so Krampus is merciless, but is he evil? Not necessarily. He kind of follows rules of justice. He only comes after those children who misbehave. And while he does seem to enjoy punishing those little wicked children, he never, ever attacks an innocent child.
Okay, but define misbehaving.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I always say to Santa. Santa, define naughty.
Yeah,
right?
What's good versus bad? Because if you steal a loaf of bread, then that's bad. But if you steal a loaf of bread to feed your family, there's a different,
Yeah, Yeah, I think it's more the children that were actual
Like evil little demons.
evil little brat children.
Okay.
But like you said, as usual, Christianity kind of absorbed this
Mm.
tradition. Although at one point the church did try to ban him, and that didn't go over very well. So they ended up like associating him. Okay, well, he's part of Christmas then. So the creature and Saint Nicholas are actually said to arrive on the evening of December 5th, which I think you say later it's called Krampus Knot or something. And I can't
Something.
say it in Krampus Knot,
Yeah.
but
no, I'm
it
not,
means,
I don't have German. I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, I'm half German, but I still can't speak German. But
Yeah.
anyway, but it basically Krampus night. This comes on the day before Saint Nicholas's feast day. So he comes on December 5th, and that's why it became known as Krampus night. And then Saint Nicholas, his feast is on December 6th. So, Saint Nicholas rewards the nice children by leaving presents. Krampus beats those that are naughty. And then in some cases, he's actually said to eat them or take them to hell.
Jesus.
But then on December 6th, St. Nicholas Day, the children awaken to find their presents if they were good, or to nurse their injuries if they were bad. Because
Wow.
I imagine, I know they're black and blue and hurt. So yeah.
That's awful.
I know.
So the depiction, I was going to say the deception of Krampus. The depiction of Krampus evolved over time. And this is where I was kind of hinting at the beginning, where I was like, who comes up with this stuff, But with artists and storytellers adding these various details in his appearance or his behavior, common elements, like you stated earlier, included the horns and the fur, a long tongue, chains, which the chains were throwing me off.
I think they did come later.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, there's a picture. I know we talked about this because I remember posting an Instagram of a picture of Krampus, and he had a sack. Yeah, I do remember that. And he had chains, and there were children around him. But the chains are sometimes interpreted as a symbol of the binding of the devil.
Oh.
Or
so,
as a way to
see,
control
Christianity
the creature.
Tries to draw similarities between the pagan things with Christian things. And I guess maybe that is where the chains came from. In the story, the one where the ghosts come back, the nightmare, the Christmas past, present, and future. Scrooge, the Scrooge story.
I never really
that's not
got
the title,
into
but
those.
anyway.
Yeah.
Chains were depicted in that also as well, to indicate, that you were bad and that you were tied to the devil.
Yeah. So,
down.
With that, I thought it was very interesting because, we talk about tulpa a lot and we talk about stuff like that. And so I know that probably before Christianity even touched it, Krampus was still a thing. He would, scare little children to behave. That's still there. But then as it started to evolve into something different, then did the thought of Krampus then did the majority mind, like the idea of what people had in the masses, did that become sort of a tulpa where it kind of changed Krampus himself?
Could have been.
I don't know. It's very interesting to think about.
Or they just called him, we always talk about how what Christianity calls demons or devils or whatever can be called, but they might not be that in that sense, but there's still something otherworldly
out there.
Yeah. So it could be he was already out there and he just became tied to the devil by Christianity.
Yeah. And then does that make him bound because of the people's thoughts or mass thoughts?
I doubt it, because there's still a lot of people who don't. Well, though, I would say there's a lot of Christians, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Although modern Christians don't even believe in Krampus, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't.
We have Santa Claus now.
Yeah, and this one was, but we're talking about our thoughts on holidays and all of that based on what we know here in the U.S. Now, in Europe, it can be they could believe in both, because this is a more European.
That's true.
Style. So style, not style, but more European.
Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But during the 19th and 20th centuries, Krampus, he gained popularity in the regional folklore and often appearing on postcards and illustrations, which I thought was cute. I really like
heard
that.
about that. I came across that with the postcards, that was a thing. And they showed the pictures and I'm like, who would want a postcard that looks like that?
I mean, isn't there like a whole Krampus like festival type of vibe?
There are all over the world.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like it would be a part of that or something.
I still would not want to either give or receive a postcard with Krampus on it. Not the ones like they had back then. It is kind of your style. It's that old antique.
Yeah, I do like
you like
that stuff.
The antique stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
One day I'm going to get haunted because I like that stuff so much. I just know
you're going to bring home haunted items.
Yeah, I mean,
like that
I
mirror.
remember talking about that mirror. The mirror is fine, by the way. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
And why did we knock on wood? Didn't we talk about that in one of our
Yes, we did. It's a witchy thing, but I can't remember why. It's like to
call on the wood spirits within the wood for protection.
Oh, so I just knocked on laminate. Are there laminate spirits?
Are there laminate spirits? I don't know.
But yeah, so in the mid 20th century, however, efforts were made to suppress or kind of, quote, sanitize the more frightening aspects of holiday traditions, including the character of Krampus. So he kind of got pushed to the side, whereas, we have Santa.
Yeah,
and
Jolly
all of that.
Santa and Frosty the Snowman and all of that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And like I know we talk about in later episodes that we've done notes for, like Jack Frost.
Mm-hmm.
And Jack Frost has kind of been pushed to the side because of how he's perceived some ways, where it's obviously he's Frost, he's cold,
totally a pagan, a pagan thing.
Like you don't even hear about Jack Frost really.
I've
movies and
seen some comics, cartoons. That's the word. Wow.
But other than that, like Santa is the really big one. And then you have Krampus and all the other ones where they're like secondary, which is, I don't know, in my opinion, wrong. Yeah. But again, what are we going to do? So despite this, Krampus persisted in certain communities, such as, the ones with the festivals, and experienced a resurgence and interest in the late 20th to early 21st centuries. So now we're kind of getting a little bit more back into it.
I think so. And I think part of it is, like I said before, about people realizing we've lost our roots. And a lot of people are trying to explore the past to find some connection to our earth and to ourselves. But there are places that have festivities like the Krampuslof, which is Krampus Run.
Oh.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? So in this activity, people dress up as Krampus and they get really drunk. It's a whole drinking thing, which I would love, I'm sure. And then chase children in the streets to scare them.
That's terrible. Wait.
I think it's the greatest thing.
I take it back.
I think the kids is probably done like a parade where the kids,
I'm getting like Halloween vibes.
Yeah, it's like the Halloween
it's like the trick or treat, but like they understand.
Yeah. And they probably laugh and giggle and all of that. Well, it depends on where these are, and I think in America that would be the way, but I don't know. In some cultures what they might do with that. But beginning in the late 20th century, the Krampus runs became really popular in Austria and Germany because they were trying to preserve the cultural heritage that was being lost due to Christianity shoving certain parts of that away.
Yeah.
And so that was when it started to be again being celebrated internationally. And this monster, he grew in appeal and has been in a whole bunch of horror movies, and I wanted to watch some of those before recording this episode so I could say, I watched one, but I hear they're really, really bad.
Like quality bad,
I mean, and I like a good grade C horror movie, but I think some of these have like half a star rating out of 5.
Look, with all the technology that we have, we need to be able to put together like really good horror films, but yet we still cannot do it. Know my opinion. And, I mean, I guess this one wouldn't be a horror film, but
well, yeah, I think it would be.
It would probably be, but
in 2018, I think there was a Krampus movie that they said was actually really good. So I might have to search that one down.
Yeah.
2018, I don't know what it's called, but I might have to search that one down and try to watch it.
Yeah, let me know, because if it's on something I have, like Hulu, whatever, I'll be able to watch it. So.
Yeah, we should do a video party. We keep saying that.
I know, but like how?
I know, we don't know how. I think you have to have it on your computer, and I watch my movies on my TV, and I don't have a keyboard for my TV. Plus, it's really old and doesn't have internet. I don't know. That's a whole different discussion for later.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, anyways, like a generalized, like today, Krampus is a popular and recognized figure in various parts of, the world now, not just centralized Europe where it came from. It's celebrated through events, parades, festivals. They all I feel like all of these embrace the quote darker. It's not dark. Like he's different. It's not. It's because
he only does this to bad children. But the thing about children often aren't old enough to know better. So like you said, how do you define? Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they know better.
Person over here. She's in an anti-child phase right now.
Sometimes they know better, and you just have to look at them and not want to hit them because they're children, and you can't do that.
This is why she and her husband have no children right now. They're not in the mind frame to have children right now.
No.
Although I must say, even though I was in the mind frame, there were times that if it weren't for my husband, I really wanted to kill my children and vice versa. So, yes.
My husband saw a baby the other day. I don't know where we were. And he looks at me and goes, "Oh," and I said, "Don't." I just said, "Don't." I said, "Absolutely not."
And when you get to that point where you're like, "Oh, that baby's kind of cute," he's like, "No."
He's like, "No, absolutely
One of these points, y'all are going to be on the same page, and then watch out.
Nope, I have no job.
This is true.
I have no job. I have no way to support. I can't even support myself.
I hear you.
So no.
But I do, you talking about it being popular nowadays. And I'm like, even over here in the United States where it didn't originate from, I feel like the US is always willing to grab onto a reason to party. I mean,
very much so.
Definitely of that culture.
Very much
Krampus?
So.
Let's have a Krampus party.
Yeah. It's so funny because like my family's the same way where we celebrated every single holiday. We celebrated like Chinese New Year, we did Mardi Gras, we did all of it.
Fun.
And so my husband comes into my life, and he's from Europe, and his family doesn't really celebrate much. Like they don't do Thanksgiving, they don't do.
Well, that is an American holiday.
Yes, it is. And so they don't really do that. But my husband, he was like, "Why are you celebrating so much? Like, what is the Chinese New Year?" I'm like, "Oh, it's the Chinese New Year. Like,
have a drink. It's the Chinese New Year.
Like, let's go out to eat. Like, it's an excuse to, celebrate another culture that's not yours and enjoy what they enjoy too while respecting their culture. It's really fun. And
it's family time. And
it is. And it's just a way to spread some love and positivity.
And alcohol.
And alcohol. But it was just funny because he was like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Okay." Like, I think he really has adapted to it. He's like, "Man, I want to do this. I want to do all of it now." And it's just really nice because celebrating is super nice, and you don't really have to have a reason to celebrate anything. But when there is something, it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Especially, I like your point. Too. I like your point about learning about other cultures too, because I do that with my kids. I make sure that I explain what the history of the Chinese New Year is and the lunar parts of it. And it's a lunar festival and what all of that means. And they're going to grow up and be made fun of by their friends. But
they're going to go, "Are you guys, celebrating the Chinese New Year too?" And they're going to be like, "What?
What?
What?" So, but yeah, anyways, I have a few stories. I just have 3. Now, they're not based on real facts that I know of. They're just kind of like generalized stories of what could have, like what would happen if Krampus were to take a child or whatever.
Okay. So
this one is called The Naughty Child and the Sack.
Ooh.
So in
dun dun dun.
I know, like insert the noises that we have not found yet. Dun, dun, dun. So in this tale, a particularly naughty child disobeys his parents and engages in mischievous behavior. Again, I don't know what the behavior is throughout the year. So as Krampus comes on the night of December 5th, he finds the misbehaving child, and rather than leaving him a bundle of birch sticks or a lump of coal, he puts the child in a sack. With a swift movement, Krampus carries the child away, never to be seen again. And
oh my
then
God.
There's like, that's it. And it says the moral of this story emphasizes the consequences of disobedience and the importance of good behavior.
Well, hell,
That was it.
Oh my God. Yep. Sorry. Won't ever see you again. You better be good. You don't have any more chances.
There was no information on like, oh, and he like Krampus ate him, the stereotypes, like he ate him, he whatever, he's in a cage, he's in a cave, whatever, right? No,
he's a
nothing.
slave, whatever.
Yep. This one is called The Warning Bells.
Okay.
So in a village nestled in the Alps, the legend of Krampus was so ingrained, with the villagers that they took special precautions during the Christmas season. So and it's the actual Krampus. I'm so sorry to anyone German.
I know. I know.
Anyways. As Krampus approached, the village church would ring its bells as a warning to all children to return home and behave. Yeah. The villagers believed that the sound of the bells would keep Krampus at bay, ensuring I'm really messing this up.
You're struggling.
Ensuring that only well-behaved children would be visited by Saint Nicholas. One year, a curious, mischievous child ignored the warning bells and continued to play outside. Krampus appeared, and the child learned a valuable lesson about the importance of heeding warnings and following traditions. Now, it doesn't say what Krampus did to him. Yeah, it just says he learned a valuable lesson. But I thought that was really interesting about the bells.
Me too.
Because they would ring the bells, and he would be at bay, and he wouldn't take any children, and the
which is
children would go
interesting
inside
because
and behave, quote unquote.
We did an episode about witch bells, and bells are thought to keep demons and evil spirits away. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure that Krampus is really an evil spirit. I mean,
I don't think so.
Technically, he's taking children,
but evil children.
But can children really be evil?
I think so.
Yeah, she's like, I babysat for so-and-so, and yes, they could be evil.
I don't want to get too far off topic, but there's like a literal, like there's multiple articles about growing up and being a serial killer. And what are the qualities that all of these people had in common in their childhood? And a lot of it was like brain damage. So not brain damage in the way where they're incapacitated, but they had they fell like, not fell, but like they had severe damage to their head, like a concussion or whatever. There's like a lot of correlation between that. So if you have a child that has no emotions and has all of that, then there's like no remorse in them whatsoever, or they grow up to be like a serial killer type of vibe. I feel like that's what Krampus is stopping.
That is, he's saving us from serial killers.
He's saving us from serial killers.
That's
the takeaway. Yep, that's the takeaway.
Krampus, the superhero.
Oh man, if we had titles on our After Dark. Okay, I just have one more. So this one is a kind-hearted Krampus.
See, superhero.
So Krampus the superhero. He is less sinister on this interpretation, and so this Krampus is portrayed as a figure who, while frightening, has a kinder side. So in this version, Krampus is seen as a companion to Saint Nicholas, working together to teach children lessons about both rewards and consequences. So Krampus may scare misbehaving children, but does not necessarily harm them. Instead, he serves as a reminder that there are consequences to one's actions, but not like, I'm going to eat you or I'm going to leave you cold or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind part of that
good
trying
and bad.
To, what is the word? Cleanse the evil stories out and make them less scary. There's a word for that. I just can't think of it.
Mhm.
And it's like the Grimm brothers' original fairy tales that they wrote that Disney has made such lovely movies out of.
Mhm.
That is not what
Mm.
the original fairy tale
Nope.
was.
Nope.
But I mean, I love Disney movies, honestly, but that is not what the original fairy tale was.
Mhm.
And speaking of movies and things and pop culture, this is one of my favorite episodes of Supernatural. It's called a very supernatural Christmas, and it deals with a couple who from
Oh,
what
I
I remember,
remember.
they were Krampus demons, and they would invite children over, and they were this cute little old couple, and they had their
I
little
remember.
Christmas sweaters on, and their house was so jolly, and the children would come in, and then they would eat them.
I remember that one. That one was a good one.
It was a good
That one
one.
was a very good one.
And then on Grimm, they had the 12 Days of Krampus episode, and Krampus snagged naughty kids, tortured them, and hauled them away in a sack and left a lump of coal in their place. So since he
Oh.
was a detective, these children were being, quote, kidnapped, and the lump of
Mhm.
coal was there. But since he was a Grimm and was
He
able
could
to
see.
see
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
supernatural
Yeah.
creatures, he was able to hunt it down and all of that. And I
Mhm.
feel like there was another supernatural episode that dealt with Krampus, or it might have been a different show, maybe Charmed or something, but
Mhm.
where there was a factory and the children would get dragged down into hell to work in this factory for Krampus, the bad children would. It was anyway. So there are some similar legends out there that are like Krampus, but by different names. So there
Mm.
is Belsnickel.
Mm.
The Belsnickel story originated in Europe as well. And he was also supposed to be a companion to St. Nicholas, but they had him actually more as a servant of St. Nicholas, as
Oh,
opposed
I
to.
think I've heard of this.
Mhm. And he was seen to be wearing animal fur or torn and dirty clothes, and sometimes wore deer antlers on top of his head. And
Hmm.
so if you go to the German, bells translates into fur, and nickel refers to St. Nicholas. So kind of the fur man who went with St. Nicholas. And
Interesting.
he's actually sometimes referred to as the Christmas woman, although I think there's an entirely different legend about the Christmas woman. But
Oh,
he sometimes would wear women's clothes and would then be called the Christmas woman.
interesting.
But unlike Santa, the Belsnickel travels alone. And Krampus also is seen as a companion to St. Nicholas, and they travel together,
Mhm.
whereas Belsnickel travels alone and arrives at homes 1 to 2 weeks before Christmas.
Hmm.
And he determines if the kids are deserving of treats or discipline based on their behavior. And he carries a switch in his hand for the naughty and pocketfuls of cakes and candies and nuts for the well-behaved children. So he'll arrive and the children are actually awake. It's not like this happens at night and when they're sleeping like Santa Claus. He calls upon each of them to answer questions for him or sing him a song.
Hmm.
And so in exchange, he would throw cakes or candies or nuts onto the floor. And if the children dive greedily for the treats or can't recount their good behavior throughout the year, then the Belsnickel would threaten them or swat their hands or butts with his switch.
Oh,
And well-mannered boys and girls would get the treats.
interesting.
There's another one. All of these seem to be German too, by
Yeah,
the
and
way.
they all seem like the same. Like they're all
Very,
variations
very
of each
similar,
other.
which makes me wonder if there's not something to this
There has to
Krampus
be.
story, because so many different cultures have something so similar.
Yeah.
So Knecht Ruprecht, which is servant Rupert, he is
Okay.
also of German folklore, and he is one of St. Nicholas's traveling companions. And he was first his first appearance was documented in a Nuremberg Christmas parade in the 17th century. And he is a Christmas time figure that brings gifts. He wears
Interesting.
a black or brown robe. He carries a sack of ashes, and occasionally he rides on a white horse. And children are asked whether they can pray, and if they can, then he would give candy to those, and he would give ashes to those who could not recite the prayer.
Oh,
I know. So
interesting.
this one
Weird.
was kind of a religious
Yeah, like a
demon.
different take
Yeah.
on it. Yeah.
And this character is well known in Germany, where it is linked to the pagan notions of Krampus. So it could be that this was one way that religion tried to contort him into their serving their purpose by
Yep.
saying,
Yep.
oh, if you can pray, you get to have candy. If you can't pray, then you get ashes.
Ashes. Okay.
But they said he was a sinister man with a long black beard, with a furry black robe and chains again,
Oh, more chains.
but bells also, and a bundle of birch sticks. Birch sticks seem to be popular
Yeah.
to punish these poor little naughty children. And also, a legend says that he would appear in the homes on St. Nicholas Day, which is December 6th, and ask parents about their children's behavior. And if the parents said, oh, they're wonderful children, he would give them goodies. If they were bad, he would either give switches to use on the bad children, or he would drag them away into the woods.
Oh, there's no in between.
No luck for you kids. Sorry. So you better be on your parents' good side.
Damn.
And then another one, I think this might be my last one. I think it is. The Christmas Scarecrow.
Ooh.
Hans Trapp, the Christmas Scarecrow. This is a French Krampus story.
Ooh. Okay.
So Hans Trapp, according to the story, lived in the 1400s. He was rich and powerful and merciless, kind of like Scrooge. Picture Scrooge in your head. And he was feared by the people of Alsace, which is somewhere in France, and I probably did not pronounce that right. His thirst for power was so great that he turned to deals with the devil to enhance his power and status. On hearing this, the Pope himself excommunicated Trapp, after which he was banished and his wealth and lands were confiscated. He was reduced to constructing a makeshift home in the mountains of Bavaria in Germany. And here he continued to brood and his evil desires festered. He developed a hankering to try the taste of human flesh. Or maybe he was just really hungry. I don't know. But finally, he became the dreaded Christmas Scarecrow, adorned in straw as a disguise, and he would wait on lonely roads for a victim.
Oh, that's sad.
A boy aged around 10 happened across his path one day, and Trapp stabbed the boy with a sharp stick.
Okay, I take it back.
He took the body back to his lair, and he sliced it into pieces and roasted it. But before he could eat, he was struck by divine lightning and killed.
So the boy died. Okay, I hate to say this, but like there's no good reason for a death, but the boy died for literally no reason if you couldn't even eat him. Like there's obviously the boy shouldn't have died. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying, but
I know what you're trying to say.
Wow.
But today, naughty children are still warned that Han Trapp's spirits lingers on and that he may visit them in his little scarecrow disguise if they don't mend their ways. And supposedly that story, that legend, is actually based on a real life person. Well, not alive anymore. He was Hans von Trotha. He was a knight who lived in 1540 and he lived until 1503. And he had 2 castles that were in the French-German territory, but he did become embroiled in an argument with the church over that property. And the abbot wouldn't give them away. And so he, the knight, stopped a supply of water to the nearby town. And he built a dam to stop the water supply. And then the abbot destroyed the dam, which flooded the villagers' homes and businesses and killed a whole bunch of people. And the dispute continued. And the Pope really did excommunicate him. But there is no record that he turned to eating children or hunting children while dressed as a scarecrow. And even though he was excommunicated, he still did really well for himself. He went and served in the French court and worked with King Louis the 12. King Louis the 12th.
I know I do that with Roman numerals too. I'm like, 1, 2, 3. My brain doesn't work for a second while I try to figure it out.
And then what's really funny is when he died, all of the charges against him were reversed and forgiven. Isn't that weird? And so local legends sometimes refer to him as the Black Knight, a formidable specter that also is said to accompany Santa Claus and punish children who are unworthy.
See, how does
Mhm.
that, like, that story of his turn into cannibalism and helping Santa
I
Claus?
know. I have no idea.
To each their
That
own, I suppose.
it's just very strange. So that's all I have on Krampus.
That's all I have to.
Okay, well, thank you all for
Yes,
listening.
thank you for supporting us.
Oh, for sure. We couldn't do this without you. That's why you
No.
get these lovely little bonus episodes.
Yes, absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
we'll be back.
We'll be back.
And until then, stay witchy.
Ooh.